This is Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. My name is Joshua Ishaya. Welcome to another interesting episode of the program Aqua Farming. You know, Aqua Farming is a program that brings you all you need to know in the water. And just beside me here is a very beautiful and gigantic aquarium. And of course, we want to tell you all you need to know about pet fishes. Pet fishes are kept in home offices to beautify homes. So all you need to know today, we're going to be giving an overview of an aquarium. And come with me as we explore these potentials and bring to you the beauty of having an aquarium in your homes and offices. Stay tuned. Overview of aquarium fish. Aquatic medicine has emerged as a recognized specialty within the practice of zoological medicine. Fish medicine, an important component of aquatic specialty, is evolving with distinct subspecialties of aquaculture and production medicine, as well as pet exhibit fish medicine that focuses on individual animals. The business of ornamental fish, which includes specimens that may be added to zoological collections, can be broadly divided into freshwater and marine, as well as brackish species. Most pet fish are freshwater, and many farm raised in the USA, Asia, or elsewhere. Many fish sold through the pet trades are imported to the US, except for small number of species such as some clownfish, amphiprion, dirty backs, Pseudochromis gobis, primarily Elacatonus. The trade in ornamental fish is a global industry, and fish are often moved through several dealers before reaching a wholesale or retail outlet. The source of these fish is an important consideration when designing quarantine protocols and anticipating the types and severity of disease that may be seen in recently acquired animals. Some fish species, whether marine or freshwater, are particularly prone to parasitic bacterial infections during the quarantine period, including the few after arrival in a pet store or home aquarium. Cyprins such as koi and fancy goldfish for ornamental ponds are popular pets and typically respond well to veterinary care. Many of the highest quality are imported from Japan or China. Fancy goldfish may be significant value up to several $1,000 for show quality. Many are large enough for clinical manipulation, are quite hardy, and often have important emotional value to their owners. These fish are susceptible to several diseases of regulatory concerns, most notably spring viremia of cap and koi herpesvirus, which are both reportable diseases. Clinical management of individual pet fish exhibit animals and valuable broodstock has changed dramatically over time. Advances include use of non-lethal methods to diagnose disease and more sophisticated treatment options. Radiography and ultrasonography are particularly well suited for use in aquatic species, as are CT and MRI. They are especially valuable for valuation of gas bladder, investigation of internal masses, and more development of techniques for microbial culture of blood to accurately identify bacterial agents and perform stability tests before starting antimicrobial therapy has been useful to decrease the needs to euthanize or surgical biopsy an animal to achieve an accurate diagnosis. Surgical advances, including such as exploratory laparotomy and gas bladder repairs, have salvaged animals that previously would have been euthanized. The equipment needed to treat fish in a veterinary practice is modest, in addition to equipment already on hand. For example, microscope glass slides and cover slips and basic surgical disinfecting tools. Water quality perimeter testing equipment is needed. In addition to these basic tools, a practice should have few fish tanks for use as hospital systems. This can be 10 or 20 tanks with simple foam filters and aeration pumps. A dechlorinator such as sodium thiosulfate should be on hand if the practice uses water that contains chlorine or chloramine. In addition, trichine and baking soda should be available for sedation or anesthesia. Other useful equipment includes a 1 liter plastic graduated cylinder for measurement of water volume, a balance to weight out and nestic, and a battery powered aeration pump if any anesthesia fish is to be moved around the clinical for radiography, surgery, or other procedures. For surgery, a 10 to 20 tank work well as receptacle and accurate lighting panel or a plexiglass or plastic cover with small holes drilled in it can be placed over the tank to allow water to flow over the fish and back to the tank. The fish can be positioned in a V-shaped form bed, and a small submersible aquarium pump and flexible tubing can be used to circulate anesthetic treated aerated water out of the tank and over the gills. Use of equipment that can be sterilized after each patient is advantageous. Veterinarians who offer fish medicine should be aware of evolving regulatory concerns, including the current USDA accreditation programs. In addition, aquarium fish are susceptible to several reportable diseases, which includes best freshwater aquarium fish combination. If you're looking to add some more variety to your freshwater aquarium, combining various species of fish is a great way to accomplish this. However, you want to make sure those combinations can peacefully live together. Selecting fish species that get along can be a challenge every aquarium owner faces. Even though there are certain fish combinations we know with near certainty will or will not work in many instances, there are a multitude of others that can go either way depending on a variety of circumstances. Great personality will interact with their owners as well. Aquarium Pro Goldfish Formula Food was specifically designed for fancy goldfish and designed to be quick sinking to the goldfish with not ingest air at the surface. Gulping a lot of excess air at the surface can lead to buoyancy issues for the goldfish, so it's best to feed a sinking pellet to prevent this. Now, let's look at the top 10 best pet fish to keep in your aquariums in descending order. The world is full of many beautiful and fascinating tropical fish. There are hundreds of different species and strains of tropical fish that can invoke a tranquil beauty to the aquarium or appeal to our natural curiosity of nature. Many species also have unusual behaviors that make them worthy additions to our homes, but there are fewer species that make great pet fish. It is important to note that's precisely what is meant by a pet fish. The simplest definition is a fish that is worthy of getting its own nickname. We're talking about those fish with names like Mr. Bubbles, Spot, Finny, Mark Wickers, etc. The fish that have gone from being a piece of living art or curiosity to the same level as that of the family dog or cat. These are truly pet fish. This list is not an encompassing. There are many other honorable mentions and probably some that are missed. But most aquarists who have kept these species will agree that they are all name worthy. Like I said, we're going to be giving you 10 best fishes to keep in an aquarium in a descending order. On number 10 is freshwater angelfish. It is also called Teprophilum scala. One of the most recognized of all tropical fish is the angelfish, with their extended fins and round bodies, convey a strategy grace to the aquarium. Often purchased at the body size around a quarter to a half dollar, these fish can grow to 3 to a 3.4 diameter and fins that can make them over a foot tall. While they may not be name worthy when kept in a large group in a large tank, a pair alone in a smaller aquarium or as part of the community will often get a name. They also have a great personality that will come to the front of the aquarium to greet their keepers and even interact with their owners. Angelfish are members of the Seychelles family, more of which will also appear on the list. On number 9 today on Best Fish Aquarium Fishes is Fancy Guppies. The fancy guppy is another of the classic aquarium species, have been one of the aquarium hobby for over 100 years. Today, there are many different fin and color strains that have been selective breed for many generations. While an aquarium with dozens of fancy guppies can be beautiful, most people only keep a few at a time, in which then they are likely to earn their name. Their constant swimming behavior, gregarious nature, and bright colors will endear them to many hobbyists. Many strains produce uniquely colored individuals which can make for quick recognition of particular fish, a trait that is very important for naming. Their active swimming can take up a lot of energy. A good flake food like Aquarium tropical flakes can be supplemented with a small pellet like Aquarium retinue that contains extra fat, protein, and vitamins to help restore vitality. On number 8 on our list is Mollies. Mollies is a member of the same genus as the guppy. The mollies are another good pet species for beginners. One of the first for beginners. One of the first fish many hobbies have ever kept were black mollies. The males with their sail-like dorsal fin and the females that give birth to live young that are miniature versions of their adults have made this species extremely popular over the years. The young are large for a live bearer and can immediately take finely crushed aquarium tropical flake food after birth. Their active behavior and social activity with each other and the humans make them name-worthy. Mollies are herbivores by nature and will do well on a diet of aquarium pro-herbivore pellets and will graze on aquarium algae rounds as well. On number 7 on our list today is tiger barbs. Tiger barbs are another one of those species that often endear themselves to their human keepers. The small but pugnacious little fish are often right at the front glass whenever a person passes by and exhibit just the right blend of active swimming and stately grace. They fall somewhere between the hyper, hyperactivity of a Daniel and the stoic patience of an angelfish. If not for the fact that they do best in small groups and can be hard to pick out an individual from it, they will be higher on the list. Care should be taken with these species that they do not nip the fins of other smaller or more vulnerable fish. On number 60 there on our best pet fish to keep is the Oscars. The second sea child on the list, the Oscar, is one of the most popular and intelligent of all aquarium fishes. They have been trained to do simple tricks and have shown remarkable amounts of problem solving and behavior that can be interpreted as emotions. Oscars often eagerly greet their humans and have been known to sulk when their caregiver is not around. If not for their large size, Oscars can get over 12 meters long. They will probably be the number one pet fish. Do not even consider aquarium this fish unless you have a minimum of 75-gallon aquarium, although a 125-gallon is much better. Many hobbyists choose to feed their Oscars feeder goldfish. Besides being very expensive, feeder goldfish can often introduce disease and are not healthy for the Oscars. It's far more economical and better for the Oscar to feed it a balanced diet of pellets and freeze-dried fish like Aquarium sea trolls pellets and Aquarium monster fish medley. Now, on number 5 is Ocellaris. The Ocellaris only marine species on this list. The Ocellaris or common crownfish is an instantly recognizable aquarium species, often just like called Nemo. After the animated movie character, clownfish has become the most widely kept marine species today. Most are captive raised and there are many different colors, forms available. As a marine species, they require specialized aquaria and are more care than the typical freshwater community tank. But it is not difficult. A small marine tank like the Coral Life by a cube in a house with small children means it's almost a must to have a clownfish as part of it. Moving to number 4 is convict seashell. Another seashell is the small but pugnacious convict seashell. Although we listed just one species, any of the species of the Amatillania that come from Central America will fit the bill as good pets. While only a quarter the size of an Oscar, they have all bluster and attitude of a much bigger fish. They will confidently defend their territory even against their human and push and bite to keep them from encroaching. They truly are an interesting fish with a lot of personality, making them fun to watch. They do not breathe easily, but watching them care for their young can also be fascinating to observe. Be warned that finding new homes for the young can be difficult. They keep them in their best health. Aquarium mini chisel pellets make an ideal diet. And now, on number 3 is the Mbona. Mbona, pronounced Mbona, are a group of seashells from Lake Malawi in Eastern Africa. These seashells come in a variety of colors and range in size from a couple of inches to 8 long. They are active swimmers with great personality, making them great pets. However, care should be taken that they are not kept with other tropical fish. Are active swimmers with great personality, making them great pets. However, care should be taken that they are not kept with other tropical fish. African seashells are best kept only with other African seashells as they prefer a slightly harder and more alkaline water environment than rainforest species and can be extremely aggressive toward each other and non-seashell tank mates. In communities of Mboma, it can often be quite easy to pick out the dominant male from the groups. It is this one that usually gets the nickname herbivores, by nature Aquarium pro herbivore formula makes an ideal diet for them. Moving on now to number 2, fancy goldfish. Few fish have been more deserving of a name than the goldfish, whether it was won at a fair or purchased in a store. The goldfish is the first fish that many of us kept. They are attractive, easy to care for, and have an endearing personality. But like the Oscars, this fish also can grow quite large, and a large aquarium is required. A few may be kept in a 10-gallon. When young, you should expect to have moved them to a much larger tank or outdoor pond as they grow. Beside the standard comet variety, the fish who are likely to win at the fair, there are also many other unique body shapes and colors that have been selectively bred over many years. These fish have great personality and will interact with their owners as well. Aquarium goldfish formula food was specifically designed for fancy goldfish and designed to be quick sinking to the goldfish with not ingest as the surface. Gulping a lot of excesses at the surface can lead to buoyancy issues for the goldfish, so it is best to feed a sinking palate to prevent this. And on number 1 on the list is the betta. No fish has ever been more named than the betta. Most of this is because this fish is often kept by itself in a small aquarium. Male bettas are fiercely territorial, and it is quite impossible to keep males together in the same tank. They do not even get along with females most of the time too. Their own natural instincts make them best kept by themselves. This quirky trait of behavior has made them the undisputed king of the desktop aquarium, and they are popular human office pets. Many bettas will have active personalities and will swim eagerly to get some aquarium betta food or aquarium betta treats. And sometimes they can show as much life as a sunken leaf. Although bettas are tropical fish, they can tolerate cooler water temperature down to around 70 degrees, but they really prefer warmer water around 78 to 82 degrees. If your house is kept cooler than that, a properly sized aquarium betta or flat heater can help raise the water temperature up just a few degrees to keep it sufficiently. On that note, we come to the fish reviews. Now, let's look at questions to ask before you buy a new fish for your aquarium. Buying new fish for your aquarium is exciting whether you are new to the hobby or a seasonal veteran looking for something new and interesting to add to your aquarium. Going to the fish store is just plain fun. There are so many fish to choose from. You might have trouble deciding what to buy, and you could find yourself wanting them all. But before making any livestock purchase, there are some important questions you should ask to make sure you are making the right decision for yourself and fish. Number 1 question: how big will the fish get? Many of the pet fish species see in the store aren't fully grown. Some may only get a little bigger, while others may double, triple, or more in size. Always make sure the fish you intend to buy will fit all comfortably in your aquarium when they reach adult size. The second question you need to ask at all times is, what does the pet fish eat? While most tropical fish do not find on a diet of flake, pellets, or frozen foods, some species are specialized feeders that may require live food or customized feeding methods. Some pet fish may grow to eat the rest of the fish in your tank, while others may be herbivores that will decimate a beautifully planted aquarium. Before purchasing any new aquarium fish, make sure you have the means and dedication to properly feed it and that it won't devour the rest of your aquarium inhabitants or plants. Number 3 question is the fish perceived peaceful or aggressive? If you have peaceful fish, you don't want an aggressive fish that spends its day chasing everyone else around, stressing them. On the other hand, If you have rambunctious fish, you wouldn't want to add a shy fish that will be constantly harassed and running for its life. While some fish may not kill their tank mates outright, being chased, nipped, and kept from feeding will eventually take a toll on the victims, resulting in increased susceptibility to disease or even death. Number 4 question: is the fish territorial? There there is difference between being aggressive and being territorial. Although some fish can be both, territorial fish will often tolerate other tanks' inhabitants as long as they have enough space and structure to define their territorial boundaries. They may chase other fish away if they come too close, but they will otherwise leave them alone. Territorial fish often do not tolerate other members of the species, so it's best to just buy one. The fifth question to ask is: will it get along with my fish? Keep a list of the fish you have in your aquarium. If you have forgotten or aren't sure what kind of fish you have, take pictures to show store staff so they can help you make the right choices. Learn more about fish compatibility in our helpful Learn more about fish compatibility. The number 6 question you need to ask is: does it need special water parameters or temperature? While most tropical fish sold today are raised in captivity and tolerate a certain range of water chemistry parameters, some are still collected in the wild and may need specific alkalinity or temperature to thrive. Always research the type of fish you intend to buy or ask if they need special conditions. Number 7 question: how many fish will I buy? Some fish are solitary, and as adults, they do not tolerate others of their own kinds or closely related species. Better fish, certainly gouramis, redale, and rainbow sharks, and some seashells are good examples. Schooling fish. Number 8 question: how long do pet fish live? Small fish like tetras, barbs, and daniels should live at least 5 years, if not longer, while medium-sized fish such as angelfish and goldfish often live 10 to 15 years. Larger seashells, clown loaches, and many plecostomas and catfish species can live 20 years or more, while koi are known to live even longer. With that, we come to the end of the program Aqua Farming, where we brought to you this week the overview of an aquarium fish pond. Of course, the program has been Aqua Farming. Thank you very much for keeping it there with us. So when next you want to start an aquarium, we've told you what you need to look out for and which is the best fish to actually keep in an aquarium. And the beautiful part of it is the fact that there are some fishes that are territorial in nature, and there are some who cannot actually accommodate others. So I'm sure you must have learned one or two about what to do and how to actually have a proper aquarium in your homes. Isn't this actually beautiful to have in a home? Believe me, I'm thinking of having one in my house. Until some other time, have yourself a very splendid time ahead. Bye for now.